Would you like to become a millionaire? This is one of Brian Tracy's most insightful speeches. The man who became a millionaire by teaching others to do the same. If you watch until the end, you'll gain valuable insights. I personally learned a lot and will share many secrets on how to achieve wealth. Here and now, Brian Tracy begins by saying, "As I walked in to speak with you all, they told me that everyone here is either a leader or has the potential to become one." What else did they say? Everyone here is a millionaire. I was amazed. Everyone you see in this room is either already a millionaire or aspires to be one in the future. This place is like a factory for creating millionaires. Life gives us the daily tools to become rich and unique. You know, over time I've learned that the only limit to what you can achieve is the one you set for yourself. I started studying this topic many years ago, when I was just beginning as a speaker. I received a call from a man who owned 100 branches across North America. He was organizing a convention and asked me to speak. He asked if I could give a speech on how to become a millionaire, and I agreed. However, at that time, I wasn't a millionaire myself, and I had to address 800 people. When you're just starting out as a speaker, you tend to say yes to everything. Stress management? Sure. Family relations? Yes. Weight loss? Absolutely. What's the topic? I've got it covered. So, I said I was an expert, but I was nervous and afraid. Despite this, I learned to push through fear and remind myself that I could do it. I was around 38 years old then, and I realized I knew very little about becoming a millionaire. Growing up, I always dreamed of being a millionaire. I had good skills in sales, marketing, and more, but I was still far from achieving my goal. And now, I had to speak to 800 entrepreneurs about this topic. What would you do in my situation? Many might turn down the opportunity, but in this video, you'll learn how this challenge changed my life and career. After accepting the offer, I knew I needed to prepare. So, I spent 2 months deeply studying the lives of millionaires who started from nothing. In 2 months, I read everything I could find. I discovered that over 10,000 millionaires had been interviewed in detail about how they became successful. These people, who began with nothing, shared what they did, the mistakes they made, and their triumphs. I organized a speech called 21 Success Secrets of Self-Made Millionaires. When I delivered the lecture 2 months later, the audience loved it. They even gave me a standing ovation. Sometimes, the only thing holding us back is fear. Be bold, and don't let fear stop you. After the lecture, countless people came up to me, excited, asking if I could give the same talk at their companies. I said yes, of course. From that point on, I delivered that same lecture many times. What began as a 60-minute speech grew into 90 minutes, then half a day, and eventually a full-day seminar. I traveled around the world giving these talks. I recorded them on audio and video and even wrote books. Over time, hundreds, even thousands, of people became millionaires after following the advice I shared. Just like learning from a master chef can teach you to excel in cooking, learning from experts can guide your journey to success. When I started researching this topic in 1980, there were about 5,000 millionaires in the United States. Today, there are over 60,000, and that number is continuously growing. A staggering 87% of these millionaires started from scratch. Out of 100 people who graduate from college, only 1 will become wealthy in their lifetime. 3 will do quite well, and 15 will accumulate some savings. But the remaining 80% will work hard or struggle financially by the time they retire. By the time I turned 30, I hadn't even finished high school. People used to point to me as a warning to their kids. If you're not careful, you'll end up like him. I dropped out of school in 12th grade, receiving only a completion certificate, and my first job was washing dishes for $1 an hour in a small hotel. So, no matter what job you have today, don't fear starting from the bottom. Everyone begins somewhere. I remember being promoted at that dishwashing job and earning $1.40 an hour. It was a milestone for me. For years, I worked various manual labor jobs, washing cars and dishes, and losing jobs along the way. When you're young, losing a job is part of the journey. Embrace it. What's more concerning is staying in the same job your entire life. Back then, when someone was fired, there was no warning, just 2 minutes notice before being shown the door. I bounced from job to job, sometimes living out of my car, but I never lost sight of my goal to become wealthy. When I finally began studying how to become a millionaire, I discovered that the principles are simple, and anyone can apply them. The secrets I found were life-changing, and I began sharing them in my speeches. People loved hearing about how to become rich. After a year, many came back to tell me they had become millionaires thanks to my teachings. They looked different, radiant, sometimes with tears in their eyes, saying, "A year after your lecture, I followed your advice, and now I'm rich." And here's what I want to share with you. Simple, actionable keys to becoming a successful leader and a highly paid individual in society. Studies involving thousands of millionaires ask them, "What's your secret? What do you do differently?" Interestingly, their responses were similar. By the way, today there are 2,595 billionaires in the world. When I started studying, there were none. Most of these billionaires started from scratch, many as immigrants who arrived with nothing and worked their way up by doing specific things in a certain way, which we'll discuss now. They became millionaires first. Many of you might already be millionaires. The first million is tough, but the second is inevitable. Jim Rohn once said, "It's not becoming a millionaire that matters, but the person you must become to achieve it." Yes, you must transform yourself. Do you understand? Type in the comments, "I understand." You have to develop skills, discipline, and honesty that surpass 99% of the population. Build strong relationships, discipline, and the ability to prioritize. Once you've earned your first million, it becomes easier to make more money. The second million follows automatically. The first is the hardest, but after that it gets simpler. One key lesson I learned is to dream big. I was surprised to find that the starting point for success is dreaming big dreams. You need to expand your vision and set goals far beyond your current reality. Find something that ignites a burning desire within you to move forward. That's where change begins. Another critical turning point is making a decision. Decide that you will become rich, that you will work hard, sacrifice, and pay the necessary price. Without that commitment, you won't achieve millionaire status. All great millionaires made this commitment. I'll share all the knowledge you need in this video, but remember, the focus is on helping you become rich and successful so that you can provide for yourself and your family. So, make that decision now. Declare, "I will be rich." Comment below with those words. I realized this at age 36. For years, I had wished and hoped to become wealthy, but I never actually made a decision. I thought luck would eventually come my way. I bought stocks, made investments, but nothing happened. That's when I discovered two essential secrets of millionaires, which I'll now share with you. First, they weren't necessarily smarter than others. Here's something that will change your mindset. I didn't get better grades than others, but I was willing to work harder. I was willing to start earlier, work longer, and stay later than anyone else. Millionaires, especially at the beginning, put in long hours. Only after reaching their goals do they start working less. In the beginning, you need to invest immense energy. Think of it like an airplane taking off. It requires tremendous power to leave the ground, but once it reaches altitude, it goes on autopilot. The same is true for your efforts. At the start, you'll need to work hard, but eventually, you can maintain momentum with less effort. You don't need to be the smartest or the strongest. You just need resilience and immense willpower. The second thing I learned is that millionaires are financially educated. They know how to earn, manage, and invest their money. They didn't spend everything they made. This understanding of earning, saving, and investing intelligently was crucial for them. They became masters at managing their wealth, multiplying it over time. Learning to manage every penny is vital for becoming a millionaire. The sooner you learn this, the faster your life will change. Your goal is to become a millionaire, and my job is to guide you. I'll show you the formulas and steps to follow. Often, success is just a choice. Remember, 87% of millionaires and billionaires are self-made. They started with nothing, and no one is inherently smarter than you. If someone else can do it, you can too. That's the proof. As Abraham Lincoln said, some people become rich to show that anyone can do it. Two people might grow up in the same home, face the same challenges, but one becomes a millionaire and the other doesn't. That's proof it can be done. The same thing happens in families worldwide. You can do it too, just follow the same path repeatedly. I want to share with you what I call the 7 C's. Pay attention because this is crucial. Let's go. I started gathering formulas, writing 22 books, each containing 21 key ideas for achieving specific goals. 21 ideas to double your income, to live well, to be an excellent manager, even to meet and marry the partner of your dreams. These books changed lives. I've studied constantly, likely for 3.5 hours today, and I'll read more before the day ends. Constantly absorbing new knowledge is vital. One idea combined with another, plus an opportunity, can transform your life. You need to be where opportunities are and let your ideas flow. One idea can change everything. One of the most important keys to becoming a millionaire is clarity. Clarity is my favorite word for success and business. In consulting with many companies, I found that problems arise when they lack clarity in their direction or processes. All issues stem from unclear goals. What's your product? Who's your customer? What does your customer value most? How do you stand out from your competitors? If your company lacks clarity, or if your personal goals aren't clear, nothing will work. Write this down: clarity. Define what you truly want in every area of your life. Another key to success is managing your time. Time is far more valuable than money. Many of the world's wealthiest people would give away their fortunes for a few more days with their loved ones, to enjoy nature, or to spend with their spouse. Whoever wastes time will never become rich. You might be wasting time by focusing on things that aren't important to you or by being disorganized. A study of 50 successful business owners reveals. In a study with 50 successful business owners, they were asked, "What is the best business time management tool you've ever discovered?" 49 out of 50 raised a yellow notepad. They all use it to plan their days by making a to-do list. They write down everything they need to accomplish, and they always work from a list. Without a list, it's like driving down a winding mountain road without steering. Soon you'll find yourself doing irrelevant, unimportant, and useless things. At the end of the day, you'll feel exhausted but have achieved nothing. To change this, go out tomorrow and buy yourself a yellow notepad. Here's a tip: be mindful of how you use your time. Millionaires buy other people's time to free up more for themselves. For example, if you spend 2 hours a week mowing the lawn but can afford to pay someone else to do it, you've just gained 2 hours for more valuable activities, like spending time with your family or working on personal projects. In life, decisive moments matter. I've written and published 86 books, following a formula for writing and publishing. Most professional authors release a book every 2 or 3 years, but I publish up to 4 books annually, one every 90 days. Now, I'm published by some of the world's top publishers. Many people believe that writing a book will make them rich, but it's not one book, it's multiple books. The first book gets attention, the second proves your success, and the third or fourth one starts making money. People often ask how I manage to write so many books. I explain that I have a system, just like following a recipe. The system requires clarity about the book's purpose, who it's for, and what topics aren't covered elsewhere. I don't write fiction. I write practical books where you follow steps and get results. These books have transformed lives, back to becoming a millionaire. The key is to get ideas out of your head and onto paper. The most powerful tool is a pen and a piece of paper. This is the greatest wealth creation tool in the world. Everything starts in your mind, but it must come out and be written down to create clarity. You can also use technology, but I found that writing things down by hand helps register them in your brain, making it easier to remember. If your goals aren't written down, you're unlikely to move forward. One thing I've taught to over 5 million people is to write their goals in the present tense, as if they've already achieved them. For example, write, I earned $220,000 a month and dated. Or, I am a millionaire with today's date. Your subconscious mind is powerful and will work towards these goals if you declare them as facts. It starts to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be, working 24 hours a day to provide you with ideas. The subconscious mind has been discussed for centuries. Some call it the higher self. Others refer to it as God's mind or spirit. Whatever you call it, there is an incredible power in the universe that you can tap into simply by writing your goals clearly. Your subconscious will work around the clock to manifest these goals into your life. Isn't that amazing? Start practicing today. Write down your goals and let me know how this process transforms your life. Once you have a clear goal, you create a field of energy that attracts everything you need to achieve it. Your life will undergo a transformation. It's almost like magic. This is a turning point for every person who sets a clear, important goal. The best advice is to set a goal to make a lot of money, because if you aim low, you'll automatically get very little. Once you set a clear goal, opportunities will start appearing, and you'll move faster toward it. This activates a magnetic field, attracting people and circumstances that help you reach your goal. It's been this way for thousands of years and is the great secret of success. You'll never be truly successful unless you do something you love and do it well. Napoleon Hill once said, "Do something you love, and you'll never work a day in your life." This advice works. Test it out. When you love what you do, you can't wait to get started each day. The turning point in my life came in 1987 when I attended a seminar where the speaker emphasized the importance of self-esteem. He said that self-esteem is defined by how much you like yourself. The more you like yourself, the more confident and willing you are to try new things, even if there's a risk of failure. The more you like yourself, the higher your self-esteem. Unfortunately, many people don't like themselves, which holds them back from success. How can you like others if you don't even like yourself? To help others, you must treat them well. And this comes from practicing the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. This makes people feel valuable, important, and eager to be around you. Accept your guidance and work hard to succeed. The more you like yourself, the more you like others, and the more they will like you. This creates a positive upward spiral that brings happiness. One of the beautiful things about religious values that I deeply admire is their emphasis on family and children. The best thing you can do for your children is to raise them with confidence and self-esteem so they like and value themselves. My wife and I have been fortunate to raise our 4 wonderful children without ever criticizing or punishing them. We've had honest conversations, but never undermined their self-esteem. Now 3 of our children are married, and we have 7 grandchildren. I've noticed that my children have grown up and married people with high self-esteem who treat them with respect. And in turn, they are raising their children with the same values. A strong, positive relationship is reflected in an atmosphere of happiness. People in good relationships laugh, enjoy each other's company, and feel good about being together, whether it's at work or with family. This energy must come from within, from your heart and mind. A good relationship, be it personal or professional, should make you feel uplifted, not drained. One major reason why many people don't become millionaires is due to mental clutter. They don't clearly define what they want. Many say they want to be rich, but what does that mean? How much do you need? And by when? What will you do to achieve it? Decide exactly what you want. If you're married, sit down with your spouse and define your shared goals. When two people work together towards a single goal, they multiply the power behind achieving it. This is the essence of a great mastermind. Einstein once said that if you can't explain your goal to a 6-year-old in a way that they can understand, then you don't know your goal well enough. Your goal should be so clear that a child can understand it and explain how close you are to achieving it. Einstein's second test is to write down your goals, because if it's not written down, it's just a fantasy. Studies at Harvard found that students who wrote their notes by hand performed better than those who typed them. Writing activates your kinesthetic, physical, and auditory abilities simultaneously, embedding the information in your subconscious mind. This deep connection allows your subconscious to accept your written goals as commands, working 24 hours a day to help you achieve them. So, step 1 is to decide exactly what you want. Step 2 is to write down your goals in detail. Step 3 is to set a deadline. Deadlines give your subconscious a time frame to work towards. Always write your goals in the present tense, with an expiration date. I want to achieve this goal by this date. This sets things in motion, and life will start transforming. Step 4 is to make a list of everything you need to do to reach your goal. Keep adding to the list as new ideas come up. It's important to jot down ideas immediately, even in the middle of the night, to avoid forgetting them. Your life will start changing, like a massive ship slowly turning in the ocean. Once you have your list, the next step is to act on it. Start taking action, no matter how small, whether it's reviewing your notes, making a phone call, or ordering a book. Just do something and do it now. It's like the kickoff in a soccer game. Get moving as soon as possible. Here's something that will make you rich, happy, and maybe even more successful. Take action every day towards your most important goal. Here's an exercise for you. Every day, write down your goals and today's date. Write 10 goals you want to accomplish within the next 12 months, using the present tense: I earn, I achieve, I own, and so on. These goals can be financial, familial, or physical. Once you've listed your 10 goals, ask yourself, if you had a magic wand and could achieve any one goal in the next 24 hours, which one would have the greatest positive impact on your life? That's the goal you should prioritize. Transfer that one goal to a separate sheet of paper and go through all the steps. Write it, set a deadline, list the necessary actions, organize them into a checklist, and start taking action. If you do this, you will become unstoppable, and nothing can prevent you from reaching your goals except yourself. One final point is to focus on competence. You can only make a lot of money if you're very good at what you do. Divide your work into skills and identify the most important ones needed for success. To become successful in any field, you don't need to be in the top 1%, just the top 10%. No successful person is mediocre at what they do. They are excellent because they consistently work to improve. A study found that highly successful people dedicate at least 4 hours a day to honing their skills, which sets them apart from others. Everyone has natural abilities, but the key is focusing on one skill at a time to master it. Trying to master everything at once leads to burnout. I remember when I was 20 years old, struggling in sales. I lived in a small boarding house, knocking on doors every day, making hundreds of calls, but barely making any sales. I was persistent but ineffective at closing deals, often hearing, "Let me think about it." One day, I decided to focus on improving my ability to close sales. I read everything I could on the subject, and within a year, my income multiplied tenfold. It was a turning point in my life. The lesson? all skills can be learned. If you study what successful people have done and practice, you can master any skill. I started teaching other salespeople the techniques I had learned, and many of them became millionaires. The most important thing I learned was how to help others make decisions, and that's a challenge many people face. The key to closing sales or succeeding in any field is to see yourself as a helper. Your job is to improve the lives of others. When you approach your work this way, your self-esteem rises, your confidence grows, and you find more fulfillment. The more you serve others, the more successful you become. This is the foundation of a life of service, and it's the secret behind the success of people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, who were obsessed with helping people improve their lives through their products. Tom Peters, in his book, emphasized the importance of customer service obsession. The highest paid and most successful people focus on serving others. To achieve this, you must have clear goals, understand what you love doing that helps others, and become highly skilled at it. The third key to success is concentration, the ability to focus on one task at a time until it's done. Discipline yourself to avoid distractions like social media or unnecessary notifications. I wrote a book called Double Your Income and Double Your Free Time, which outlines 21 strategies to stop procrastination. One of the key ideas from the book is Eat That Frog, inspired by Mark Twain. He said, if you eat a live frog first thing in the morning, it's probably the worst thing you'll do all day. This means tackling the hardest, most important task first. If you have 2 frogs, eat the ugliest one first. This idea became a standalone book, Eat That Frog, which has sold over 10 million copies in 46 languages. The concept is simple. Once you identify your most valuable task, start with it and work on it until it's done. It's tough at first, but it transforms your productivity. Napoleon Hill's Master Key to Riches concludes with a profound truth. The master key to wealth is self-discipline. It's the cornerstone of success. If you've made it to the end of this video, it shows you have self-discipline. Comment below, the master key to success is self-discipline, and I'll know you are on your way to becoming the first millionaire in your family.